What was I going to say? Jurgen Klopp, it's just been transformative for Liverpool Football Club, Jamie. Good news that he's signed a contract extension. How much do you enjoy seeing him in the way he runs this club?
Well, for the last sort of few months, there's almost been a panic around Liverpool. The fact that Jurgen Klopp hadn't signed a new contract and he still had 2 years to go. I was still, and a lot of Liverpool fans were thinking, what's going to happen when he goes? And he still had 2 years of him. So the fact that he signed a new contract, I was always confident he would. I do believe that, because I'm not sure there's any other club, I wouldn't say like Liverpool, there's lots of great clubs, but that suits Jurgen Klopp. I think he suits... Liverpool are not an underdog by any means, they're one of the biggest clubs out there, but that thing of when he was at Dortmund fighting against Bayern, who maybe had more funds, and the same with Manchester United and maybe Man City in the Premier League. I couldn't see him managing a Real Madrid or a Barcelona. I don't think it'd suit his style of management. I think he needs the intensity of the crowd and, you know, just that togetherness. And he is already, and in 4 years' time, who knows what Liverpool will win that time. He is going to be remembered as one of the greatest managers in Liverpool's history and one of the greatest figures in Liverpool's history, right up there with, you know, the great managers. What Shankly did at the start. Now, Liverpool have had a barren spell, obviously went 30 years without a title. If Liverpool could then continue the success after Jurgen Klopp left, you know, competing at this level, he will be seen as that Shankly figure who almost started it and then it was carried on by other managers. That's how pivotal his signing for Liverpool has been.
He says he doesn't prefer one team or the other, Real Madrid or Manchester City in the final.
I think he's lying.
Which team do you think he would prefer?
I'm pretty certain he prefer Real Madrid.
Do you agree, Thierry?
To be fair, only he can answer that. But if I were
He's
him...
not here, though.
No. I know, but in that speculation, you don't know what he wants. So, for me, it doesn't matter. If you're Liverpool, you adapt to any situation, whether it's Madrid or whether it's Manchester City. You're watching the game and you see what you can do against what team in order of who goes in the final. And that's about it. It's not about are you fearing this or fearing that. Whoever's going to come, adapt to it and try to win the game.
OK, so then half-time, Jurgen Klopp makes the change that you guys were both saying was necessary, bringing Luis Diaz on. And then we spin forward and Liverpool begin to find their foot back in this game. Everything changed.
Yeah, it changed even before the goal. You felt that you were watching the real Liverpool and maybe Villarreal had run out a little bit of steam, but I mean, the goalkeeper's been awful in the two games, to be honest. He's not a Champions League goalkeeper, never mind semi-final level, probably not even group stage level. You see, he's just onside in that position. I mean, to score from there is just not acceptable. It really isn't, but you could feel it was coming. It felt like it was a matter of time. Maybe wouldn't expect it to be Fabinho, really. He's a defensive midfield player, but they didn't have to ask enough questions of the goalkeeper in the first half. As soon as they did in the second half, the game was over.
I think it was clever from Fabinho, though, the way he looked like he was going to cross. Took that an extra, just a moment, and the keeper was a little bit off balance. And when he struck, it was an okay strike. The keeper should do better there.
And when we were talking at half-time, you had said that Diaz would be what would change the game for Liverpool. Why did you think that would be the case?
Well, it was an obvious one. Obviously, you're not going to take Mane off this field, off that field, and Salah. And I think that Jota is a very good player when the team is dominating. When you put crosses in, he can appear. But when a team is putting pressure on you like that, you need a guy that's good on the ball, that can dribble, running behind. Mane and Salah will give you that, but when he came on, it just changed the game. His capacity to get off player, to get in the box like here, and what a cross from Alexander-Arnold, by the way. But suddenly they started to fear him, good in 1v1. He was keeping the ball well, turning well, holding it well, and obviously.
Can you talk me through that movement there, Thierry, please?
Well,
as a striker there.
You can see that this guy is on a mission since he's at Liverpool. He never won anything with them yet. And he wants to prove a point every time that is wearing that jersey. And you can see from where he's from in Colombia, you can see the desire he has to play in the Champions League. You can see that. It's almost, if we think, Mahrez De Bruyne.
Yes.
That's the exact same goal. But that guy, exactly what you were saying, Jamie, he came on not thinking about quadruple or losing or, oh my gosh, we might be in a situation where it can be shameful here if we lose. He just wanted to help his teammates and make the difference, and he did.
I mean, we talk about, you mentioned, Kate, why would you bring him on? He's in Liverpool's best team. He should have been on from the start. Now, it may have been better, the situation, because maybe he would have even found it difficult in the first half, because it was difficult for everyone how well Villarreal played. But he is in Liverpool's best 11. It was a major surprise. It'd be interesting whether Jurgen Klopp would say why he picked that team, because Luis Diaz didn't play at the weekend. It just felt obvious he would start the game.
Yeah.
But he is better than all the Liverpool forwards at keeping the ball and running with the ball. Mane and Salah, even in the game in the first half, they can still give the ball away because they're so direct. Every time they get the ball, they want to go for goals, don't they? So they're not going to score every time they get the ball. So a lot of time, there's a lot of turnovers. When he's in possession, you always feel he's going to keep the ball. He's a lot better in possession than anybody else in the front five, and that's what Liverpool were really lacking in the first half.
Look at the next Liverpool goal then, Sadio Mane putting it out of reach.
I think this just typifies Mane's game. He managed to stay on the side. You know, a lot of strikers would have just gambled and maybe gone a little bit too soon. But this is his composure. And I think, is he going to cut back and play it to Salah there? No, but coolly tucks it away with his left foot. We've talked about Ballon d'Or nominees, and if Liverpool go on and win this competition, he has to be considered. His form this season has just been frightening, and he turns up every time Liverpool need him, not just with his goals, but the way he works for his team. He's played in a centre role where he can hold it up, he plays on the left, and he even started on the right, so he's trusted by the manager, and you know, he's paying dividend because he's just a real joy to watch. He really is.